8 points you have with Mohammed Ali. Let's see how you do with General Knott.
If it feels like neighbourhood policing has vanished, it's not around you. We haven't seen a police while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while now. People are frightened.
Now, have you also been interested in the issue of, this is a strange kind of side issue, like issue,
On working as a deliveryman's assistant, he downed around 14 pints of beer a day. Yes, which fortress was built in the 1370s to defend one of the gates of Paris.
Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BBC Spews Live on a Wednesday.
The Bastille, in February 2008, which Tottenham Hotspur player scored the first goal of Fabio Capello's reign as England football manager?
Aaron Lennon.
For
Jermaine
another
Ginnas.
festering
James Gandolfini
shithole
played
in
a
North
mafia boss called
California.
Tony in which American
And he's
television
in town,
series?
so I'm not going to be around
The
this weekend.
Sopranos. What
Anyway,
name is used for the highest gallery of seats in a
welcome
theatre?
to the show. Loads of good stuff to talk about because
Which organisation
the
was
lunatics
founded
are
in
now officially
1909 as
running
the
the
Home
asylum.
Section of the
In the
Secret
past,
Service
when the
Bureau to
Tories were
counteract
doing
the
it,
threat of German
you know,
spies?
we merely had
Yes, which American military
like
award
the
is given
sort
to
of
those who are
fat,
wounded in
specky
action and
bloke
bears the
on
inscription
Terminator
for
2,
military
sort
merit
of
on the reverse.
incompetent, lazy,
Chris Martin is the
fat,
lead singer with which
lecherous,
award-winning British
sexual
band?
deviant, like that
Yes,
nicely
which
sums
variety
up
of
the
blue
Tories.
English cheese
Remember the
traditionally
bloke who
accompanies
licks her
port?
face when she's lied in the cell?
Stilton, what term for a
That's a
top-floor
nice
luxury
analogy
flat
for the
originally meant a
Conservative
shed
Party.
or outhouse?
We've gone from that.
Penthouse.
Yes, in 2006, Sandy
That's what it is.
Toksvig replaced
I wonder
Simon Hoggett as the presenter of which topical Radio 4 quiz show?
Pass.
Ah, that's why. Because David Lammy was playing. Okay, thanks for telling me. Right, please start again. Okay, better. Yeah, so what I was saying was, welcome to the BBC Spews Live. It's on a Wednesday, which is not normal, but that's because my brother has swapped one drug-addled shit pit in the north of England for another drug-addled shit pit in the north of California, and he's visiting. So we're doing this. I'm not going to be around this weekend. And then I was simply ranting about the fact that this, pump up the volume, crikey, is there all sorts going tits up today? Let me have a look, audio. 140, that should be better. How's that? All right. And then I was saying, obviously we'll have a lot to talk about today because the lunatics are now officially running the asylum, and the Conservatives were merely the fat, lazy, lecherous blokes off Terminator 2 Judgment Day, right? That remember that he's the sweaty bloke who works in the asylum and he's always perving on Sarah Connor, and he licks her face when she's lying on a pit. So we've swapped the lazy, sexual, avaricious orderlies for the absolute raving lunatics. So there's going to be loads to talk about in the next coming years. It'll be a lot of fun as long as you can keep the power on and you've actually got electricity and the internet, because things are going to go tits up. Looking at some of the stuff that Rachel Reeves is coming out with, maybe you won't have power because turns out they're going to go all in on wind farms, which we know is about as much use as a nun's tits, and doesn't work, and nobody with any sense thinks it works. The cabinet is shocking. There's some absolute planks in. Let me look up. I believe I made a video about Rachel Reeves. Yeah, I'm going to show you one of my old ones as well as the one Lamtron did. There's a few great fails from Lamtron. But suffice it to say that it's looking like it's the dumbest, least qualified parliament ever, and we're here to see it. So, hey, could be worse. At least we're here to see it. I'm definitely loving that. Lamtron is without doubt the dumbest foreign secretary we've ever fucking had. I think that is undeniable when you see his mastermind performance, which I'm going to show you here. Look at this. If you haven't seen this, you've been missing out. Here's Lammy on Mastermind.
Knowledge, 2 minutes starting now. What was the
No,
married
my
name of the
audio's not
scientists
working.
Marie and Pierre who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1903 for their research into radiation?
Antoinette.
Curie. Cockpit country is a rugged, inaccessible area on which Caribbean island?
Pass.
Which former Conservative leader in a magazine article in August 2000 claimed that while working as a deliveryman's assistant, he downed around 14 pints of beer a day?
William Hague.
Yes, which fortress was built in the 1370s to defend one of the gates of Paris and was later used as a state prison by Cardinal Richelieu?
Versailles.
The Bastille. In February 2008, which Tottenham Hotspur player scored the first goal of Fabio Capello's reign as England football manager?
Aaron Lennon.
Jermaine Ginnas.
And he said he's a Spurs fan as well, by the way. So he's an absolute plank. No, see, this here, thick as mince. To call David Lammy thick as mince is a disservice to mince. Right, I must stick up on the behalf of mince and say that that is a disservice to the fine meat product that we have with tatties in the north, because the bloke is an absolute log. At least mince, you can get a spoon in it and stir it and it's edible. That's a disservice to mince. He's as thick as fucking, I don't know, foundation concrete, whatever it is, the pour into the foundations of a building. Absolute log. Game Taverns, first time he's got a chance to see me live. It's a treat. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. There you go. Thick as mince. Definitely. Thick as a Dockers sandwich. And he's now in one of the top roles. The other classic one, I'm sure you've all seen as well, David Lammy interview failed. Check this one out. I'm getting the hang of this StreamYard shit. It's easier, isn't it? Look at that. Easy. Look at this one. This is a beauty.
If it feels like neighbourhood policing has vanished, it's not around you. We haven't seen a police while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while now. People are frightened. People...
Honestly, the first time I saw that, I thought that was fake. Like, fucking Lambtron. Oh, it's the Tories' fault there's no police. If there's no community policing, I haven't seen a cop around here, and he's literally scratching his bollocks behind him. Like, you couldn't make it up. I thought it was like a deep fake or something. Someone had superimposed a bobby in a bright... Oh, he's only wearing a Loomy vest. I mean, can't blame Lambtron for not seeing that. So that's brilliant. And these are in two of the most important positions. Lambtron and the other one, which I famously made a video about, we can listen to me from several years ago here. Rachel Reeves answering the hardest question. Long-term viewers will remember this one. Remember this one? Indoctrinated activists to somehow...
Phobic to say.
Just prepare for some side-splitting hilarity and watch this.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Look, is it transphobic? Look, I don't even know how to start answering these questions.
I fucking love it. I was crying laughing watching that. How good's that? Let's just listen to it again. I think this is the best way you could possibly answer the question, and I'll explain why in a moment, once I've stopped laughing.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Look, is it transphobic? Look,
fucking hell. So listen, right, Rachel Reeves. Isn't it weird how when you hear other people laughing, even if you hear yourself laughing, it makes you laugh? Yeah, that's unbelievable, that, isn't it? Unbelievable. Like, when you hear Rachel Reeves or Lambtron talking, you know the thick. Like, you know the thick. If I went out on a date with Rachel Reeves, within 5 minutes, I'd be like, here. She's a fucking plank, this one. I can't handle this. There's no way I can handle a lass that thick. But being a man, what you do there is, I've been on dates with women that were really, really thick. That's when you just go for the ultimate gambit of give them 2 pints and then go, any chance of a gobble then? You don't want a relationship out of it, so you might as well roll the dice, eh? I went out with a really hot bird once. She was like a catwalk model from Newcastle, and it was the worst experience ever. She was a fucking plank. Lasted about 3 weeks. Obviously, I want to get a shag out of it. And, but like, proper fucking log. Used to come home and be like, I was talking to Richard Branson's helicopter pilot today. You're like, you weren't. You weren't, you thick twat. You can't. I couldn't bring myself to be in a lengthy conversation with her. She's an absolute log. And these are in the fucking big jobs. It's not a small thing being the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The Chancellor of the Exchequer should be like deeply embedded in economics and economic theory. And if you were to say something like quantitative easing to Rachel Reeves, she'd be like, what? She'd think it was a form of fucking sex act. Yeah, I did meet one. She must have been a unicorn. She had all the teeth and she was like 5'11" or something. She was fucking bigger than me. Yeah, weird that when they were literally living off spam and rainwater. I don't understand how Geordie women can grow that tall, but it happened. It happened once. So we're totally in the shit. And as I said, you have to laugh. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? And Lamtron being the foreign secretary, so he's got to like go meet people like the Donald, and the shit he said about him. Honestly, if there were pub drunks, it'd kick off as soon as he walked in. The shit he said about him. If there were blokes who drink in your local, and you'd heard the shit Lamtron had said about Donald Trump, you'd fucking punch his face in as soon as he walked in. Trump would be like, oh yeah, I'm bringing the foreign secretary. He's like, Trump's ignorant because he doesn't care about little shitty island. And he's like, oh yeah, who are we meeting? Your foreign secretary walks in, it's fucking Lammy. You go, what the fuck? I've heard what you've been saying about me, you fucking rat bastard. Farage did this when he was sending Trump videos of all the shit Piers Morgan had been saying about him. People need to fucking get a grip and just be like, honestly, if the Donald doesn't kick his face in when he first meets him, it proves that he's got a fucking the temper and the temperament to do the job. Because if I was in his shoes and that fucking horrible, slimy, two-faced little rat walked in, I'd fucking punch his face in. I'd get the... I mean, you can't kill an international diplomat when you're the president, but I mean, I'd at least give the Secret Service like some fucking lengths of hose or telephone directories, and it would just drag him down to the car park, give him a fucking good shoeing in the back of the Secret Service van or something. The bloke's an absolute weasel. I've heard rumours about that one. It's probably true. They're all just shameless, aren't they, all these fucking commies? They're just disgusting. They're all perverts and they're corrupt as well. They're decadent and horrible. Like, she was probably doing lines of fucking beak off Hunter's cock, like, as far as I'm concerned. Definitely wouldn't put it past them. So it is shocking. Absolutely shocking. We're totally fucked. My Twitter's not working either. And where's my phone? And I haven't got it. Twitter does me head in now as well. I'm sure that I'm on a shit list. Every 3 days it clocks me out, and then I need to get on my phone, do a fucking unlock, and then they want to send me text messages, all sorts of shit. It's like, I don't know why. Every time I want to fucking go on there. So I can't throw my Twitter up. But there was a good story on there I wanted to show you as well. It wasn't a story, sorry. It was just like an infographic showing the jobs that they had. Latest from BBC. Look at this here. And most of them haven't had a job. Like, they haven't worked professionally. They're fucking idiots. And you know why? Look at this. When you type in BBC News, right, it says latest from BBC.com, and the top one is Lena Dunham pulls out of directing Polly Pocket. Fucking big stories, these. Why is that the latest? Lena, some big fat fucking thing with more chins than the Chinese phone. But look at the clip of that. Militant feminist. Look at it. Why are they always munting? Why are militant feminists always munting? That big fat thing looks like a thumb with a face drawn on it. Not just a normal thumb, a sumo wrestler's thumb. But why is that popping up on the BBC? Who gives a flying fuck about Polly Pocket? Lena Dunham, yeah, so that's good. She's pulled out because she's absolutely talentless. I wrote a script and I was working on it for 3 years. Yeah, so you did what most woke, upper class, fat, spoiled, militant feminists do, and you didn't do any work for the last 3 years, right? You don't do any work. None of these people work for a living, which is exactly the same as our politicians. Almost none of them have had a real job. It's like, do you remember me telling you the reason so many teachers rattle the students nowadays? Because we're just living in a fucked up society. The reason they do it is because, and this is actually a sort of middle of the road take, because I'm not just, doing what my dad would be. Like, kill them all, birch them, then hang them. That's Davy's standpoint on this thing. The reason it happens so much now, and it never used to happen in the 50s and the 60s, was because the children themselves, and they never grow up, they're in a constant state of arrested development. And they go from, I literally know a bloke who did this. I won't tell you his whole name, but there was a bloke who I was in high school with, secondary school, sorry, a lad called Joel. And he left school, he went nursery, primary, secondary school, yeah, then sixth form, did his A-levels, college, teacher, back to school, don't know anything, never been out of school. So if that's your life, you can almost understand it, right? Still young as well, it's probably like 26 or 27. Never been outside of a school environment. And then some pretty 15-year-olds batting their eyelids at him. And the next thing, he's fucking bumming her behind the bike sheds. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? The kids will have been going to have a fag behind the bike sheds, and you turn around and the maths teacher's fucking horsing one into his girlfriend. That actually happened in my school, and I know the bloke. And it gave me some satisfaction to throw it back in his face when about 8 or 9 years later, he's on Facebook and he chirped up a friend of a friend, gobbing off about Labour. And we got into a sort of slightly personal argument. And he was like, oh, it's just immoral to vote for the Conservatives. And I was like, oh, yeah, not as immoral as grooming and bumming a fucking 15-year-old when you're a teacher, though, is it? And needless to say, he vanished off the radar. And I knew it because the whole town was talking about it. This is why it happens. And I know that's a lengthy way of getting to the point I was making, but it's the same with all of these fucking people. Nobody's got any talent. These people haven't got any talent. Our politicians haven't got any talent. Our fucking medical professionals haven't got any talent. Our actors, our singers, our writers, it's everything. And it's evidence that we're in a total stage of societal collapse. We're circling the drain. We've got nothing because we don't live in a meritocracy anymore. So it's obvious, isn't it? You don't live in a meritocratic society, you're fucked, aren't you? You're totally fucked. So why wouldn't the rot start at the very top? We don't live in a meritocracy in fucking Star Wars, so why would we have one in Chancellor of the Exchequer or Foreign Secretary? We've got the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth running the fucking show. And isn't Lamtron a lawyer? Like, they all just go education, 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 lawyer, and then politics. They're no fuck all. David Lammy should have at least spent 5 years carrying fucking bricks up ladders in the rain. So he's at least got that. At least if they had a work ethic, it brings something to the table. But this lot are just fucking clowns. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if half of them have bought them. Lamtron probably went to the same university as fucking Matty Ung Wankbo. So we got out. And I've strangely got me talking onto that after bumbling into a story about Lena Dunham pulling out and directing a fucking film. But yeah, the point is salient one, isn't it? What else have we got? I mean, case in point, Biden. Fucking Biden. The West is circling the drain. It's not a meritocracy. It's not a meritocracy. Biden, absolute log, can barely speak. How the fuck's he the president? I feel like in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, you wouldn't get someone who couldn't fucking talk. I mean, it's only a slightly important thing, isn't it? Being actually able to speak, for fuck's sake. It's a crazy time to be alive, man. And the rut is set in. It's everyone and it's everywhere. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do other than laugh at these absolute fucking planks? What else have we got? Let's have a quick look around the news today. Oh, two legends. Lammy Yamal, one fucking goal. One goal and they won't shut up about him. He'll be working in Burger King this time next year. It proves nothing. Actually, let's rant about football for a little bit. Beginning of two legends, right? So one fucking bloke. Baby with Lionel Messi in 2007. There you go. One young lad scores a goal. You never know, it might be his dad. Is that why? Is that why he's good? Lionel was fucking folding his mum up. It's something that's come up in the last few weeks, right? So when I was in San Francisco, because I was with my brother and the family, we watched the England match. And as I said, I'm not really a big fan because I'm from the borough and I'm a Chippy Northern wanker. And when you spend your whole life, I had a season ticket before I joined the corps and used to go all the time. And when you go every weekend and you watch the borough lads, which are almost never playing in the England team, we got a lot of foreigners because you get them in cheaper back in the day. And, we had we had loads of good players, Ravanelli and Janino and Emerson. And every week, you're booing fucking John Terry, Cockney wanker, and all the arseholes who play for Chelsea and West fucking Ham and Man U and all that. And then I can't really turn that off quickly and suddenly like England me. So I'm mega behind Borough. England, I prefer to see them win rather than lose, but I definitely don't have that passion. I remember going to the Cardiff Cup final for Middlesbrough when we won our League Cup. First time in about 100 years. And I was buzzing then. You sort of get the butterflies in your stomach. You really get into it. But I don't really get that with England. I like to see them win. But I'm not a big fan. Because it's political and it's woke and they're not my team. And exactly the right, you can't get a player on the pitch. So, fuck them. Like I said, I'm a big believer in the North-South divide, me. I never get into the rivalry between Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Leeds. No, I'm more into... I'd rather see Leeds or Newcastle or Sunderland win a league title than a Cockney team. So where I am, I'm only relatively into watching England play. Anyway, watch the game. If you don't know, I'm covering this because I was listening to the Lotus Seekers talking about it, and what amused me about that is they know next to fuck all about football. You can tell. It's one of them things where I've obviously got a high bar for what I think is an acceptable level of knowledge, because I've realised in my 40-odd years on the planet that the amount of times I've said, when someone said to me, you're into this, are you into that? I always go, it's all right, I'm not mega into it. Typically when I say that, 5 minutes later I realise the person I'm talking to is professing to be massively into something. They're actually a bit of a fucking idiot, so I guess I am into football, because I never thought I was, but I listen to some people talking about it and I'm like, okay, you haven't got the foggiest what you're talking about. Boxing's as well. I never thought I was mega into boxing. I just quite like it. And I talk to almost anyone who goes on about how much they love boxing. I start asking them basic questions about all the greats like Pacquiao and Mayweather and fucking Triple G and Canelo. And they obviously don't know anything. So I'm like, okay, I suppose I do know a bit about it. And this fucking... I definitely didn't, because I'm a handsome bastard and I've got more charm and charisma in my fucking bell end than 9 out of 10 Cockney wankers. I'm just Chippy. I'm just Chippy for Q because I like history. And I've read history books, and I've told you this before. The South has fucked the North for millennia. Read about the harrowing of the North. That fucking arsehole, William the Conqueror, and all his Cockney mates who all supported him, and endlessly going up north to twat everyone over and over and over again. Those froggy French Cockney cunts. Yeah, I've got a chip on my shoulder. So again, I've made this point loads of times as well. Don't take it personally. I'm not saying I don't like Cockneys, but there's a pecking order in there. And it's like family, neighbours and best friends, village, town, city, region, country, and then continent, right? I'd rather see fucking France still be France than Somalia. So, yeah, I have got a chip on my shoulder. A little bit. Still to this day, my Bezzy Oppo in the car is a Cockney, my mate Richie, and we stay in touch, and I go and see him every time I go home. But yeah, I mean, got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. I'm fucking Northern. Got to have that. Anyway, point I'm getting at is, watch the game. Pretty shit. Definitely underperformed. And then for a week, the media was just going, oh yeah, well, it's because of the black lads in it. And it just makes you see everything's been infiltrated and everything is a political game. Because if you think of it from a purely logical perspective, you can't think that's reasonable or rational, which is what makes you certain that it is a political game. You know it's a political game when what they're saying is so inherently illogical. It's the only thing where people randomly say things that are completely illogical all the time. Kate's in Spain. How you doing, Kate? Thanks for tuning in, even with a time difference. Yeah, it's like Wibble Wibble. Grandmother was a badger. Irrational stuff doesn't come up very often. But when you're playing a political game, they don't care about logic and common sense. And that's how you know it's a political game. Because the obvious inference anybody with the brains of a fucking rocking horse can see 20 miles away is that A, everybody knows football's a team game and it always has been. B, most of it falls on the manager, which is why they're the first to get sacked. And C, if you're going to claim that the victory was because of the immigration, which is what they've been harping on about for a week now, then logically you infer that it's their fault when you lose. And that's how you know it's a political game, because anybody with a fucking room temperature IQ would know this and go, hang on, if we say it's all down to Saka and Umbueto when we win, then it's obviously all Saka and Umbueto's fault when we fucking lose, isn't it? So why don't we just not say it in the first place? This is so obvious to anybody with a basic, fully functioning brain, so you'd know not to say it, but that's how you know that it's a fucking political game. Because when they win, they'll go, oh, you only won because of diversity. And when they lose, they'll go, oh, well, it was bad luck. It was the English player's fault. It's like, when you can't have it both ways. And obviously, yeah, well, I made a video about that on Monday, right? Diversity won the World Cup. Zero diversity. So, it's bollocks. And as I said, they're so political now and all the kneeling and shit. Like, yeah, a large part of me goes, you know what, I don't really care if they fucking lose anyway. Like, because we'd get shit if they won it, wouldn't we? If they went all the way to dizzy heights and won the fucking World Cup, they'd just give us shit. Endless shit. Oh, you wouldn't have won the World Cup if it wasn't for Bukaki. A bloke named after a Japanese fucking sex act won you the World Cup. What else is in the news? I'm just having a look. Suspect in killings of BBC commentator's wife and 2 daughters found. Oh, I wonder if it's, please be a foreign bloke, please be a foreign bloke, please be a foreign bloke. No, who knows? BBC doesn't want to talk about it. I'll share that. I didn't even hear about this. I guess if you work for the BBC, it's a big deal when you get murdered. But if you don't, then they don't care, do they? Kyle Clifford. 3 women. I think he killed them with a crossbow or something, didn't he? Which is interesting. Yeah. So I guess the moral of this story is that the coppers will only try and solve your murder if you work for the BBC. England v Netherlands. Oh, yeah. So is that fucking today, is it? Don't even care when I'm working. Yeah, 8 o'clock. All right, it's on soon then, eh? Back home. So I guess it is apt what I was talking about. So just remember, because they've pinned the entirety of the victory on the immigrants, then remember it's reasonable and rational and logical for you to blame on them if we lose to the fucking Netherlands, yeah? Obvious. Everyone knows that. Steve Yawn's off to the boozer to watch it. Yeah, good luck. I mean, obviously, I don't want anyone to have a shitty night in the boozer, so I prefer them to win. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What else is going on? We've had a whinge about our political fucking incompetence. Let's see what's going on in the UK. I'm sure there's some good stuff about. Oh, God. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. Look at that. We don't have to pay UK for an axe deal, Rwanda. Yeah, of course you fucking don't. So this was a complete dog's breakfast, wasn't it? So what have we got out of this? We've got out of this whole farce. We paid Rwanda hundreds of millions of pounds. We ain't getting it back. We unilaterally denounced the idea and didn't tell the Rwandans we were doing it. And we've given them 300 billion quid. So, fucking nice one. That worked great, didn't it? Legal challenges meant it never took off. And the UK expressed hope that some money could be recouped. Cheers. Let me be clear. Paying back the money was never part of the agreement. Yeah. Of course not. So, we're off to a flying fucking start. To sum up, we've just gave the Rwandans even more free money. Yeah, brilliant. We're building a load of ugly fucking wind turbines all across the British countryside, which are about as much use as a nun's tits and are actually bad for the environment because there's no way to scrap them when you get rid of them. They end up getting shipped all the way over to China, which adds another 1 million tons of carbon to the fucking atmosphere, and then they bury them in a fucking field near a stream and poison a load of kids. So that's good. And what else have we got? It's just an abomination. Everything they're doing's ridiculous. Tony Blair's already started talking about bringing ID cards in. Apparently, Keir Starmer said no, but we know that's going to happen. Dave Boy the Codhead, I know that because my mate Muzzy was telling me that he was pissed off walking past it and seeing a bunch of perverts gallivanting around with gimp masks on and spiky dildos and fucking bottles of Perrier water up the fucking ring piece. So I was aware of that. Jess Phillips fan club is worth a mention. Who's the fan club? Oh, yeah, all right. So not an actual fan club. Yeah, let's see if there's anything about Jess, shall we? Up here. They won't mention it. Female MPs call harassment an assault on democracy. Who's doing it? Who's doing it? Don't want to tell us who's doing it, do you? Nah, I'll just leave that bit out. We know who's doing it. The usual suspects are doing it. When there was hardly any people of a certain persuasion in the United Kingdom, you didn't see it, did you? Margaret Thatcher's extremely tumultuous relationship with all of the opposition benches was perfectly polite. Yeah, they used to be a little bit rude occasionally, but it was nothing like the outrageous jeering and shrieking that left Jess Phillips almost in tears. We know who's doing the harassment, and nobody's talking about that. And as I said, just laugh. Just laugh. You can't get upset about it. The people who fed the monster are going to get eaten by it. So why worry about it? Jess Phillips is going to keep on running her mouth, gobbing off at people that are too polite to do anything about it. Like me and thee and Carl Benjamin. Harry Paxter. Fuck you. Can't put that up on the screen. Harry Paxter. We know who's doing it. We know who's doing it. And the people that fed the monster are going to get eaten by it. So you just have to laugh. Because it ain't going to end well. Every year, Birmingham is going to get another 10 or 20,000 hairy-arsed, badly vetted, scary blokes from some of the worst places on earth. And every year, it's going to get a little bit more chewy. And one of these days, she's going to gob off. You don't like it when a strong woman stands up to you. And then she's going to get either a knife in the face or she's going to get dragged off to the local mosque, staked out outside it, upside down, and then get bummed till the fucking eyes bleed. And when that happens, they'll go, oh my God, this is an assault on democracy by a certain group of people. Who killed David Amis? Nobody talks about that, do they? We get lectured endlessly about Joe Cox. Christ on a bike, I'm sick of hearing it. But David Amis, weird that, innit? Weird. I'd say this is so common that if you go and talk to a normie in the street and ask him about David Amis, they won't even know who he is. But everybody knows who Joe Cox is. Again, because it's a political game. It's a political game. They always talk about poor Joe Cox. Oh, I remember Joe Cox. David Amis, who killed him again? I don't want to talk about that. Do you remember me showing you a video when that fat, horrible, slimy speaker was gobbing off about it? And he went, oh, we've got to worry about the far right. Oh, it's the far right. Oh, the far right. Oh, the far right. Oh, yeah, and then some bloke who radicalised himself at home. Never mentioned the I word or the M word. Never talked once about Harry Paxter. None of that. It was David Amis went by a self-radicalised lone wolf. Straight away, self-radicalised lone wolf. Didn't mention what the fucking crack was. Yeah, well, there's no point reeling that off, is there? If I started reeling off the atrocities that I've committed to memory because I've fucking been on YouTube for too long and I actually read the news every day, we'd be here all week. I know shit that these lefty tosspots don't even remember, and I've committed it to memory. Because it makes me very, very, very angry. Beslan School Massacre, remember that one? Like 300 kids. One of them asked one of them for a bottle of water and he got a bayonet in the guts. You're talking about the most savage barbarism, the things they did to the Yazidis, the things that they did all around the world for centuries. That I've still got a chip on my shoulder about the Hagia Sophia. Don't tell me about Chippy Northerners talking about Cockneys. Hagia Sophia, I've got a chip on my shoulder. If it was down to me, we'd have a total fucking war against those bastards, because that ain't their fucking... They've turned it into a Golden Bell End church. Why do you think it's the nicest one on planet Earth? Because they didn't build the fucking thing, did they? If they built it, it'd be made out of camel shit. So, total war as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's all bollocks. They're talking about this assault on democracy, but they're not talking about who's doing it. Jess Phillips, masked men disrupted a community meeting, terrifying. Ooh, and what did the masked men look like? What did the masked men look like? You want to talk about that? No? Oh yeah, because she beat Ahmed Yaqub. Oh yeah. So weirdly, there are some groups of people who, when a woman beats a bloke called Ahmed Yaqub, doesn't go down very well, does it? Doesn't go down very well. You didn't see Jacob Rees-Mogg or Johnny Mercer or someone. I mean, even if you can hate him, Johnny Mercer, thank fuck he's gone. You wouldn't see one of them get beat by a woman and go, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. A man is superior to the woman. But it says that in the holy book they all like so much, doesn't it? God made man superior to the woman. And therefore, when Miss Mahmood beats Ahmed Yaqub, ooh, there's a bit of chew. There's a bit of chew to worry about. So like I said, just laugh about it. As I've told you loads of times, oh yeah, we can show it. Here we are. Chanting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
See, we're going to continue with the class that we had during the campaign.
Excuse me.
It's all right. The election that I have...
Joe, this will be a warning. I will be asking people to leave unless we get this completed.
Ooh, he's going to politely ask people to leave. Ooh, I bet there's shit in the pants.
I will carry on with my speech. I understand that a strong woman standing up to you is met with such reticence. Anyway, this...
It goes on for age. I'm not going to show you. She starts crying. Also, who's this inbred simpleton here? Is that one of the candidates who lost? Him there on the left. See? Watch his head here, this fella on the left. See who I'm talking about? This dude here. That guy. I can't. Is it? There, him. That fucker there. Look at him twitching and shaking it. Is he one of the candidates? Is that the bloke who ran past her? Fucking bearded simpleton. He looks like he's fucking thicker than lamps on him. Did they bring him in on a lead? Fuck me. So yeah, it went on for ages. They were proper going mental. And then at the end, like all strong, independent women, she looked like she was going to fucking burst into tears. So brilliant. Yeah, it's all kicking off. And you just have to laugh. And then when she loses, you'll get this fella, the gibbering inbred simpleton will be taking over at Birmingham. So yeah, brilliant. Looks like me. We can just laugh about this, can't we? Funny. She fed the monster. Now it's going to eat her. Ha ha. Right? So they all kicked off. She was going to burst into tears. Oh yeah, there we go. Fucking joke. Joke. What about David Amos? Nah, don't talk about him. No, don't talk about him. Desperate need of cleaning up. And also, did you notice as well, they were kicking off, she couldn't help but fucking poke them. And they started off on this shit. All this shit at the end. Didn't talk about the actual problem and said, I know what Harry looks like. Harry looks like me. What? Does he? Got a bit of a tan and a beard when you went to Spain, Jess, did you? Come back 7 shades lighter with a big wiry fucking beard and an 8-year-old bride when you went to Spain, did you? Yeah, of course they are. Decency, respect and kindness. Yeah, there was loads of decency, respect and kindness on display there, you fucking lunatic. So it's all bollocks. They fed the monster and the monster's going to eat them. And we just have to carry on doing what I told you. Batten down the hatches, tool up as legally as you can and prepare for the worst because it's going to kick off. Carl Benjamin apologised because he's trying to be the bigger man, isn't he? I suppose either way, it'll probably look good for him at this point with his following because if he apologises and she accepts it, he'll look, dignified. And if she doesn't, then she's just proven everybody right who keeps saying never apologise because I'll just throw it in your face. So yeah, it's not really too much to lose, is it? I think it was Peter Hitchens' quiet fucking whinging that sort of motivated him to do it. But yeah, you never know. He might be trying to get into politics. Gauss Mouse is in now then. How are you doing? But that's me, ladies and gents. Unfortunately, I've got to piss off because I've got to get ready for work. I will... Oh yeah. Got to give some shit away, haven't I? I've got some hoofing bootneck stickers. There you go, look. And I've got this hoofing print that I made. It came out really, really good. And it says, to slay the beast, you must first say its name. And it's the bootneck having a fight with a commie bear. So I'll give that away. Who can I pick? Someone off me fucking chat who's always in and who's a member. In fact, there's not enough members in. Selfish pricks. I'll tell you what, I'll just pick someone off. I'll pick a recent new fucker off my analytics. Let's have a look. Who's been on loads? Memberships. Peter Atkinson, there you go. You can have it. You joined 5 days ago. So, Peter, welcome to the club. You're new. Fucking message me and I'll send you some bootneck tat. All right, I'll sign you it and you can. I'll send you that shit as well. All right. Ams wants one. Well, Ams, you've been here for ages, haven't you? So fuck it, you can have one all. I'll print 2 off. PM me your details and I'll send you some shite next week when I come back from my holidays. All right. I hope you enjoy it. I'm probably going to be out for about a week at this point. I'm going to LA with my brother as well. So those of you that are new, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'll send you some tap. PM me. Get me at mattyrm@gmail.com. PM me on Twitter or Facebook. I'll get it. I'm all over the fucking place. All right. Thanks for coming. See you all very soon. Toodle pip. God bless America. And while he's got time, he best bless the UK because you're in the fucking shit, ladies and gentlemen. All right. See you later. Take it easy. Bye.